This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
It's Friday, folks, and great to be back here on a Friday with a really good friend of mine. I have Mary Wolfe here, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you, Mary. How are you today?
Good, thanks. How are you, Sarah?
I'm doing well. We're not going to make any edits on the show, so
I'm sorry to hear that.
We talk about mortgages all day long. We talk about financing. We talk about money, and I think a large part of not only about money and households, it's about families. And I've known you for a while, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about family, faith, your as a woman being in business as well. So certainly great to have you here on the air with me.
Good to be here.
Great, super. So tell me a little bit of what you've been doing. I know you've been in the real estate market for a number of years.
Yes, my father was in real estate, so it's kind of just in my DNA.
Yes.
And I have a passion for it, so it's something that I'm just naturally drawn to. And when I get up and I read the paper, and in today's paper they were talking about artists are moving into a certain little area in Washington County.
Yes.
That perks my ears up, because I know when artists move in, production starts, a neighborhood starts again.
Yes.
And the real estate's going to rise.
Right, and the nice thing with Mary is she's a friend from Pittsburgh, and we have markets all over. We've captured the market in San Diego and in Orlando, and we certainly are licensed in multiple states. But with you and I, we have such a great friendship. I mean, we've done the spin classes at 6 in the morning, and you've talked about real estate and the properties that you've worked on, and you've done a fabulous job with some of these homes out here in Pittsburgh. I'll tell you what. Some of them that have been in the magazines here.
Yeah, we had a house on the south side, have one, that was on the house tour.
Yes.
And the best part about that is working with my father and my sister, picking things out, getting things organized, and functioning as a, not just a family, but we also have another common interest, which is getting this piece of real estate ready to rent or sell. And that's a lot of enjoyment for me.
It is. It's exciting and it's fun, and it builds memories. That's what I always say. I think you want to work with something that you love, and here you have something that you love and your dad loves. And one thing that's interesting about the Pennsylvania market is it's been very steady. So when we do refinances in this market, typically you see growth about 3 to 5%. It's never escalated as you see in Florida and California.
Right.
And the safety has always been the fact that if you do have a property here, you rarely hear about foreclosures. I mean, this is not one of the, the big liners that you see in the newspapers. So we've been very fortunate in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, when it comes to getting refinanced, getting good interest rates, because it's a very solid, steady market. Have you felt that as well?
I definitely feel that the Marcellus Shale has saved us.
Yes.
And thanks to that, we can see the big players coming in from that market and really increasing the value. And I think there's going to be a major increase within the next couple of years from what I'm hearing in the housing market.
Yeah.
And so that's exciting for me, because I know if I buy now, it's going to be worth more later.
Right. And you understand, I mean, this is women in business. I'll tell you what, it's a fantastic thing to see that where it's going to be in the next 3 to 5 years. I had a girlfriend of mine who moved back from Orlando, and it took her 6 months to find a home, to purchase a home, because she couldn't even rent a property. She was living with another friend of mine here in Pittsburgh.
Sure.
And the reality is that the housing market's picked up.
Yes,
but
it
it's
has.
different in every state. And one of the nice things is that one thing that is consistent with us here at Mohsin is that the rates, the wholesale rates, are always lower than anywhere else that I've seen. And I'm just saying it for a fact, because we tend to work in a space that's different from retail lending. But it is growing, and it is moving very dramatically in a good fashion with Marcellus Shale. And I'm very positive and happy to see that happen here for us.
And I think it's important as a real estate developer or people that are interested is to develop a good relationship with your mortgage broker.
Yes, it is.
And really maintain that relationship, because when you need someone, you need it fast usually, and you have to be prepared. So knowing everybody in your office, I think, is important, and having that relationship is just vital to getting things done when you need to get them done.
Right. And we've talked a lot about family and faith, and I, your son he's just amazing, Morris. I have an
8-year-old son, and he's adorable. I do start my day we're talking about faith. I start my day every day with minute meditations from Franciscan media. And it's just a couple of lines that point me in the right direction for the day, and I find it very useful.
It is. I think faith is very important, and having family and good friends and having values, and making decisions that are good for your family and not just for you in itself. And I think women in business, it's nice that, we as friends can see, some of the challenges we face, yet, some of the great journeys that we've had as well. And you supported us. I know when we did the American Cancer Society Relay for Life, you're such a dear friend. You came and supported. I ran against Glenn Meekum, and he basically ran right in front. He won the race, and it was great because of the fact that we raised, a good amount of money. And I know that's near and dear to you as well with your family.
That is, but even how we know each other through working out. That's how we met. So keeping that balance of keeping in shape and keeping your faith and keeping family and friends, and that really helps build a strong core.
It does. It does. And your business, you also have done stuff with websites and things like that, right? And design.
I work part-time with my friend Andrea Hasarova at Hasarova Design, and we work together on websites, and we just have a ball, which is really why I do it. I could work anywhere, but we work together part-time, so it doesn't take up a lot of time, and we just get together and have fun and create. I find a lot of fun in creating websites and help developing business plans for companies that don't know what direction they're going in.
Right. And if they were to reach out to you, let's say, because I endorse you 150%, Mary, because I know how diligent you are and detailed you are and passionate you are about everything that you do, what would be the best way if businesses wanted to reach out to you about your website design and pointing, businesses in the right direction?
My email address would probably be the best, Mary Wolfe, MaryWolfe @gmail.com, or Hasarova, HUSAROVA.com.
Because it's very important with businesses. I know as a woman in business, and generally just in business, you want to have the right information out there. And if the website doesn't look right, let's say...
Yeah, it's the new business card. You have to have the website. Even if you think you're going to get business from the website, it's usually after you meet someone that you can refer them to your website, and that's when they look and get the confidence in you to do business with you.
Exactly. I think what's really interesting, and I know both of us have a great deal of interest in real estate, and that's another thing that we share, because when you're looking at properties, I always encourage folks, our listeners, that if you have your primary home and you're looking to buy a second home or an investment property, or you're looking to sell it or rent it out, this is a great time. As you know, you're an investor yourself, that buying a property in places like Florida or San Diego, or even here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to basically purchase something that may be at a lower market value than it was 5 years ago is a benefit to any owner, because the return factor is a lot higher. And so I encourage a lot of our listeners, especially our Boston listeners, often say, I want to buy a property in Florida. I said, yeah, we can help you out, because, the rates are still very low for those properties. You're still in the, 3s or 4s, depending on what day the market is kind of listing those interest rates.
Yeah, Florida's a hot market now. Definitely. I would love to invest.
Well, let's make it happen. Okay. But talking about just in general what you found in real estate for yourself, did you find that the return was high, the return on investment for going through the properties? And you've done a fair bit of investing.
I've purchased everything from vacant land and just sat on it for like 6 months and turned 13-14% increase in value.
That's incredible.
And all of my real estate that I've had and invested in has worked out well, knock on wood. It's all gone.
Well, as I say, man proposes, God disposes. God has a plan for all of us, Mary, I think, and that's really important that you have your faith that's kind of directing you and guiding you. And I have these great images of, you have pictures of you and your dad and Morris, your son, working away at, construction sites together because you love it so much.
Right.
And that to me is very inspiring to see how you take it to heart. Your family's so number one on the list.
Yeah, they are.
It should always be that way. And I strongly believe in that. I think everything else comes after. Business should be fun.
Yeah. Once you find your passion, it is fun.
Yeah.
And enjoyable.
And rewarding.
Yeah, rewarding.
I know that one picture of you that you showed me of Morris and your father working together. It's just something that I remember, and that he's going to carry. Morris is going to carry as he gets older. That they were building something together, and I think that people look at us and say, "Oh, well, you're in finance or you're in real estate," but there's a person behind all of the numbers and getting the property ready. It's what creates that property, what creates that whole situation. And I mean, you've had some beautiful homes.
Well, it does take a lot of hard work, and you have to have good partners with if they're family or your friends. I've had friends too that I've done flipped houses with. Yes. And they were 100% in, and they worked very hard to get the right outcome. And even, I have to say, you take your chances.
You sure do.
Because when we bought that one house that we flipped, my friend Maggie and I did, the market went down dramatically in the 5 months that it took us to flip it. So we just we didn't take a loss, but we definitely left a good amount of money on the table that if we had been in a better market. And the best advice I can give in that is I didn't fail, but if you're going to fail fast. Take it and move on.
That's a very good point. Listen, folks, it's been great having you here, Mary.
Thank you.
And certainly reach out to us if you have any questions about her website design, about real estate. I love having you here, Mary.
Thanks,
We'll
Sarah.
have you on again. Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.